Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know how to say that in any other language, but and this morning I am a tired puppy. So, oh, yeah, I think it's going to be quite a bit of coffee sipping this morning. But, yeah. Well, I was up late last night, watched the U.S. presidential debate, and then watched a little bit of the commentary afterwards, and then remembered that I needed to be awake for a live stream at I needed to wake up at about 6:30. So, yeah, I'm dragging today, but that's all right. It's all right. Today is September 11th, the 23rd anniversary of the terror attack on our country. So, I don't know. It's always a stark reminder. In our family, I mean, I remember where everybody remembers where they were that day. Kind of like when there's any big event like the JFK assassination. Everybody who was alive back then is like, "Oh, I know where I was. I was doing this." For me, on September 11th in 2001, I was working. I was in the tech office inside the library, and when things first happened, it was like mid morning. I don't remember exactly what time, but it was in the morning, not super early. We were already in school, but at first, everybody was like, "Oh, we need to turn all the televisions on in the classrooms. Students really need to see this. This is a big deal." And then, as details kept coming and it kept getting worse and worse, before lunchtime, it was like everybody needs to shut off the televisions. There can be no televisions going anywhere. This needs to be stopped. And this was before everybody had cell phones. Like kids didn't just have cell phones. So by turning off the televisions, we were trying to keep them focused on schoolwork, and so it actually kind of worked back then. But yeah, what a strange day, that's for sure. We had a newborn at home. Well, I mean, she was what, 7 months old, so we had a baby at home. Our youngest was born in January of that year, and so we had a tiny one. All of our kids were young. It was kind of a scary time. So yeah. Anyway, let's see what else is happening. Oh, I did go to the dentist yesterday. It takes a long time to get your teeth cleaned when you have braces. They had to go in and around every little bracket with their little vibrating water shooting power washer thing. I don't know. They don't use the metal hook as much anymore. Now they use a little ultrasonic something. And but yeah, it just takes a long time. I got a good report. I do a good job brushing my teeth. Good job, Sean. Good job brushing your teeth, buddy. But I still I have wax in my teeth this morning. That's why I sound a little slurry. It's just, yeah, it just constantly drives me nuts. So I can't think of. Let's see what else. Nothing else. I did not have time to curate any YouTube comments, so we may not have those. Maybe somebody will stop in and ask questions that we can talk about. Don't really want to talk about the debate. I think. I also don't think that the debate is necessarily going to change anybody's minds. I feel like everybody is just so solid in their way of thinking about the candidates. I don't know that swaying is really something that takes place anymore. But, it happened. It is what it is. I don't think there'll be another one. Oh, let's see other news. There's a hurricane that just landed in, I think, the Gulf Coast area. Yeah. Oh, yeah, New Orleans area. So it's a category 1, but that's, when something lands as a category 1, we're all like, oh, that's nothing. But I mean, it's still a dangerous thing. So hope everybody is safe down there. I guess that's all I got. The Campbell Soup Company is changing its name. Interesting. What is it changing its name to? Does anybody know? I gotta look it up. The 155-year-old Campbell Soup Company plans to drop soup from its corporate name, rebranding as the Campbell's Company. More consumers are reaching for snacks and ditching ready-to-serve soups, and the company has bought up other food lines to grab them. In addition to its lineup of soups, Campbell now owns snack brands like Goldfish and Snyder's of Hanover, Cape Cod, Pepperidge Farm, and others. Wow. I'm sure that's what's been holding them back is the word soup in their company name. Whatever. Oh, let's see. Some Delta Airlines planes collided while they were taxiing for takeoff in Atlanta. Knocked the tail section off one of the planes. Wow. Nobody was hurt, but that's something. Oh, wow. Taylor Swift announced that she'll vote for Kamala Harris. That seems significant. An endorsement by one of the most popular people on earth. Again, don't want to talk about the implications of that for political reasons, but it seems significant. Lewis, I don't know, man. ¿Qué tal está color tu día? I don't know, man. I got a hola. I think maybe not, because whenever I say hola, it has an H in front of it. But maybe that's the difference between Portuguese and Spanish. I'm early. I'm tired, man. I was up late. Too early in the morning. Yeah. It's so early. And I don't think you were here right at the beginning, but it was a late night because of the presidential debate. I stayed up and watched it, and then some of the commentary afterwards, and then realized, whoa, I need to get up early. So, yeah, I am sleepy this morning. And I didn't have a chance to procure any YouTube comments. The day is going okay. Oh, is that the translation? My day is going okay. Yeah, I'm not quite awake yet. So I wish I had a format planned out for Wednesday so I could take advantage of a pre-programmed list of things to do. Like if it was tomorrow, I could just be slowly drawing my comic while staring into the abyss. If today was comic drawing day, I suspect that Blue would be very tired and the comic would reflect his sleepiness, but it's all right as it is. It's gonna be hot. We've had very cold weather in the lower 50s for a couple days, and now it's gonna be back up to the 80s. I know those Fahrenheit temperatures don't mean the same thing, but to everybody, but it's very cool fall jacket weather to, oh my gosh, can I take any of my skin off? It's too hot. And so, yeah, it's going to be a drastic change. Every time I say that, Lewis, I think the same thing. Like, oh, it's in the 50s. I'm like, yeah, well, if that were the case, most of the planet would think that we were hitting the highest temperatures ever recorded. Because what would that be like? I don't know, like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I would think. I don't even know. I can't do the math in my head. I just went halfway to boiling, and boiling is 212, because that makes perfect sense. That's a nice round number, 212. But of course, since freezing is 32, oh my gosh. I can't believe this. This is the system that that my brain like understands the like how warm a number is. I always joke when somebody says like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the blah 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 blah, and just out of silliness, I'll usually say something like, all right, on a scale of 13 to 27, what is the, and now I realize that 13 to 27 is kind of like what the Fahrenheit system is, just ridiculously arbitrary numbers for freezing and boiling. 68 to 86. Yeah, so for me, 86 is gonna be a bit high. So I guess the upper 20s, if that's what that means. Wait, in the 20s, I thought 30s were okay. Maybe 30s is just super hot then. But yes, 86 is a bit much for me. Once you hit 80, I'm done there. That's about as high as I want it to be. Maybe a little hotter than I want it to be. Anything in the 70s for me is like perfect summer weather. Those numbers mean nothing to me. Yeah, that is so funny too, because 68 to 86, I exactly know like yeah, that's exactly right. 68 degrees is really nice. It's cool. Like you wouldn't want to go to the beach, but you can walk around without a jacket. 86 is hot enough that it's just kind of miserable. But then I mean, there's places in the country here where it gets to the well over 100. I think in Arizona, the temperature was over 100 degrees for like 100 straight days or something crazy like that. And to a degree, it's different because in Arizona, it's very dry. The humidity is very low, which means, things like sweating really does cool you down. And you can use a swamp cooler. So evaporative cooling is a real thing. But, I mean, it's still over 100 degrees. 20 to 30, but on the chilly side, but near the near coast, it's always very humid, which skews the real feel. Yeah, it's so it's humid up here where I live too. I mean, I'm surrounded by water, so when it gets hot, the humidity plays a role in how it feels, but it's much worse. The humidity gets much worse, like down in the Florida area. Like the further south you go, it gets really, really dry in the eastern part of the U.S. I don't understand the phenomenon why in Arizona, which is further west but also south, it's extremely dry, whereas in that same latitude but further east in the country, it'll be extremely humid. I don't really understand the systems that make that happen. But yeah, like in the summer down in like Texas and Florida, it just feels like you're walking into a bowl of hot soup. The humidity is so high. When the temperature is so high, it's just gross. So, yeah. I wish I understood Celsius. I mean, I understand it, but I mean, I wish that I had a comprehension of what 22 degrees would feel like. Like when you say 68 degrees, I have I know what that is. I know what 68 degrees feels like going outside. I know what it feels like when it's 72 degrees outside. 72 is close to my perfect day, like 72 to 75 or so. Yeah. I do. And I'm old enough now, I understand a metric, but I don't know that I would ever, I think I would have to live somewhere. I know we do. We have this conversation a lot and I enjoy it. I'm kind of, for some reason, it fascinates me just how messed up my comprehension is. And I know we've had this conversation a lot of times too, and it's because it isn't even a linear comparison. That's the hardest part. Um, degrees in Fahrenheit, every degree is a smaller temperature change because there's more degrees per heat or something. But yeah, I don't know. I do wonder if I like moved to a country that used Celsius, if I would start to get a feel for it, or if I'm just so old that I would always convert it to get a comprehension of like, oh, it's so if it's this, then okay, I get it. I just don't know. For funsies, do you know which English-speaking country we can use as a reference with proper measures of stuff? Proper measures of stuff. An English-speaking country. It's not in the UK. No, because they do have they do use like miles, I think. Or no, they use I don't. They do use some stuff in the other system. Yeah, kilometers and Celsius and I think my toughest time here is I'm not sure which countries are considered English speaking, because I mean at this point almost all countries speak English, but it may not be their main language. So I don't know. And do you mean like their main language, or just can speak English usually by default? Ireland. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, isn't Ireland part of, I guess they're just part of the EU, not the UK. No, I don't remember how all that works. But that is interesting. That is interesting. And they make really good whiskey. Irish whiskey is amazing. So it's not the UK, it's EU. Okay. So is Northern Ireland then part of it? I know there. So the UK is England, Wales, and yeah, I don't know how the Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland work. Northern Ireland is okay. I knew there was stuff there that I didn't quite understand, but I did watch a very informative video once on it, because there's there's the UK, and then there's the British Isles, and then there's there's another grouping. United Kingdom. Oh, Great Britain is different from the United Kingdom, because I think Great Britain might include Ireland and Scotland or something. I don't even remember. Well, something happened on something, but I wasn't watching the computer that has a notification. So if somebody did something kind, thank you. I should really put the notifications on this computer too. Let's see. U.S. uses miles in Fahrenheit. Canada uses meters per second. Yeah. Mixed bag of miles and kilometers. Yeah, Canada. Canada uses meters per second for wind speed. Canada also uses kilometers for distance. I'm trying to think, what does Canada use that isn't the metric system? Because I can't think of anything that they use. They definitely use kilometers, and like for gasoline, they use liters. English. That's interesting. I guess I never considered like needing to have the specific one. I see. Meters per second instead of kilometers. I mean, okay, but in their defense, at least it's still the metric system. It's just strange that they use meters per second instead of kilometers per second. Wait, is it kilometers per second or per hour that you would normally? There. The exact moment the comment popped up, I was thinking the same thing. Okay, so I guess that feels a little bit more scientifically precise for the weather, whereas kilometers per hour does seem, I don't know, talking about wind, meters per second is an odd choice unless you're, when I hear meters per second, it makes me think of like a spaceship docking, not the wind blowing, but nevertheless. So they are, I do think that Canada is all metric, just strange choice for wind speed. That's fair. But Ireland, huh? Ireland it is. Does anyone else in the whole universe use Fahrenheit for like weather temperature or temperature at all? Where did that even come from? It's such a crazy choice. I can't think of any advantage. I might have to do a deep dive on the Fahrenheit system because there's got to be reasons that water freezes at 32 degrees. I mean, there must be something that it was based on. I mean, it has to be something. But I I I I just can't fathom. It's just so crazy. Like, is it a conversion from something else? Okay, ready for the Google search? I'm gonna search with the Google. Why is Fahrenheit so crazy? Why Fahrenheit temperature scales make little to no sense. Oh, let's see. All right. Oh, Yahoo here says, we should just go to this window, shouldn't we? So we can read this silliness together. Okay, I don't think it does make sense. So what does that say? Celsius is the obvious temperature scale. Yes. There's a lot to be said for the seemingly arbitrary temperature scale we cling to in the U.S. Sure, water boils at 212 and freezes at 312, which seems utterly random, but consider everyday living. When it's 0 degrees Fahrenheit out, it's really cold. When it's 100 degrees, it's really hot. Both of these temperatures actually occur regular. That is not a reason. Also, the fact that Fahrenheit is more precise scale than Celsius. Well, yeah, but that's what decimals, which are also base 10, that's decimals are a real thing. Okay. You can be more accurate with Fahrenheit without, I don't know. Finally, there's the fact that Fahrenheit's not an arbitrary scale at all. A history, yeah. Look, I don't want to watch a video on screen. Fahrenheit, who perfected use of mercury, blah, blah, blah. No, it sounds just crazy. Oh, at the current Fahrenheit scale, a 1 degree increase in temperature increases the volume of mercury by exactly 1 part in 10,000. Coincidence? Perhaps. Oh, so it's not even. This does not. No, it's still bunker sauce. That is not a valid rationale. That is just, if anything, I'm dumber for having read that. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. Track like 2 buses. Okay, I just sent one. Kilometers per hour, pesos for money. That's true. Lewis, does Portugal use euros? I mean, the common. I mean, I know that there in even countries in the EU that use euros, they often have like legacy. Do you have like legacy like monetary things? Like I think France uses euros, but you know the franc is the or whatever. Oh, there we go. Shields, escudos. That's cool. Thank you for those are the types of things that I love talking about. What was I looking up? I sent a joke to a friend group of mine because one of my close friends lives in England. Did I don't maybe I didn't send it to the group that includes her. Where did I send it? Oh yeah. Okay, need to save this. It's a lot of work, but it's a funny joke. But I love those Americans will use anything to avoid the metric system jokes. All right. All right, where'd you go? There you go. No, I lost my mouse. Okay. Oh, yeah, this one made me laugh. Americans will use anything but the metric system. So, yeah. And that actually reminds me the other day on the live stream, we were talking about foreign languages, and my friend and I were trying so hard to swear in our German class because we took like 4 years of German in high school, and we tried so hard to swear, but all we had was the paper dictionary, English to German dictionary, and we looked up the word dick and thinking that we were talking about, guy parts, but the translation was there and we were so excited, but it was just talking about a detective. And so we would call people Detective Kopf, which meant Kopf is head, and but it just literally we're calling people detective heads because we were idiots. It's not even that detective and detective are different. We still didn't get it. We were very dumb high schoolers. But anyway, yeah, I love those memes. America will use anything but the metric system. So are there still the shields or I don't know escudos? Are there still like are they still around? Like do people still have them like in piggy banks and drawers and stuff? And are they novelty items now, or have they just kind of like nah? It was just old dumb money. Um, I just wonder when something like that is no longer valid if they are still novelty things that people keep around, and do they have any value based on their novelty? Now I did not know that pesos derives from pesadas. I did not know that. I also don't know how different Spanish in Spain versus Spanish in Latin America. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the two can, two native speakers of each can communicate really, really well. Um, but I know that it's different too. Very similar, yeah. And I mean even and Portuguese and Spanish are obviously different languages altogether, but very related or something. Is that fair? Like Lewis, I don't know if you speak Spanish, but if you were trying to communicate with somebody who only spoke Spanish, and let's say you only spoke Portuguese, could you could you struggle through conversation, or is it different enough that it's nonsense, just with with some similar words? Okay, okay. I just it's just funny that I see things like well, like when you started and you were and hola, but it was different. It didn't start with an H; it started with an O. So I don't know how different they are. So probably as different as, I mean, English is also derived from Latin, I think. So anyway, the dog is barking. And so Lewis, I don't know if you've ever officially met. This is my son-in-law, Neil, who is a native Spanish speaker. And Neil, this is Lewis, who lives in Portugal and obviously is a native Portuguese speaker, but very fluently speaks English as well, clearly. So y'all are both smarter than me. Not that that was ever in question. I'm going to switch to the mobile cam because, hold on. Because the dog is barking like an idiot outside. So let's go let the dog in. I think it's working. Hi, Millie. All right. I know this is like, oh, look, it's up Sean's nose cam. But I can hold it away, but then the microphone is further away. Ooh, look at that. Intense lighting. All right, you can't bark like that at 7 in the morning. The neighbors are going to hate us. Oh, and you're out of water? Great. Hope you guys are talking trash about me while I'm gone. Because with the mobile cam, I cannot see comments. There you go, Zoe. All right, shut off the water. I see Millie. Good morning, Millie. See Larry. Larry. Meow, meow. 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 He's not terribly thrilled. Millie is also wanting to go. No, I'm not peeing. No, I didn't know. I mean, I'm tired, but let's say, I think, yeah, I don't know that the sun is quite risen yet. It probably has risen by now, maybe. You can see outside. It's very dark, but like not dusk, dawn, but yeah. It was funny when it's I believe that. So anyway, where was I? Yes, Neil, Lewis, Neil. And Neil is closing, meaning the sale is going through on Friday. Him and my daughter Lydia are buying their first house. So congratulations to Neil and Lydia. That's extremely exciting. And it's a gorgeous house, too. I'm excited. It's very close to one of my regular fishing spots. So I'm a little bit jealous how close it is. But Dragon is doing well. And now, Lewis, do you know that there's another dragon in the family? There's little Murphy was born the tail end of last month. Let's see. She's posted some pictures, so I can show a picture now without being a terrible human. Let's see. Here's a cute picture. Yeah. So little Murphy was born. All right, I'm trying to. Here. another picture sent. And they're both doing well. Oh, shoot. Where'd it go? Go back down here. So, yes, this is Emmy kissing her little sister Murphy on the head. So, don't let the adorableness fool you. This photo was very posed. I think there was a lot of, okay, can you kiss her on the head? Okay, give her a kiss. Oh, she's sleeping. There's a lot of coaxing going on, but it's still an adorable photo. And yeah, she was born a few weeks early, but not a scary amount of early. I mean, so she's healthy. There were no complications, and yeah, everything went well. I'll show you one more picture, and then I'll stop being that grandpa. Why does it always not go to the place I want it to go? Ooh. There. And there is Murphy herself. She's excited to see, I'm sure, her mom, who's taking the photo. So anyway, yes, now there's 2 dragons in the family, and they're both adorable. And we got to see them both last night, actually, for a little while, which was nice. So anyway, yeah, it is what it is. I guess that's about it. You know what? I had a camera, a security camera that was showing outside, so I could have shown you exactly what it's like outside. And if you go to the bird cam, you can see the brightness level outside. It is definitely light out now. And it looks kind of cloudy, so you probably can't see the sun, but it's there. Although the bird feeders are pretty empty, so I got to fix that today. But nevertheless, let's see what else is happening. I gotta. Wait, it's not. It doesn't show up here, but I thought I saw a message. Okay, it just disappeared. I was and really kind of freaked out because I thought that I had a message from So I was talking about 9/11, and one of my okay, it was just an old message that mentioned it. That I was the Cisco class that I taught in school. One of my former students messaged me, but it's just an old one. My phone must have seen the word or the reference to 9/11 and brought it up. Anyway, he said, we did Cisco class before 9/11 and you could take fireworks on planes. So anyway, you are continuing to prevent electronic devices going in landfill. That's cool. Repaired an audio equalizer and a subwoofer. Neat. You know, it's funny. Just the other day I was thinking, we used to just have, like, usually when I was younger, it'd be in a bedroom, but like as an adult, it would be like just in the family room or living room or whatever. If you have more than one sitting place, one would generally have a television and another just kind of have like a stereo system, like a stereo for like radio, and then like a cassette and maybe a phonograph and a DVD player and stuff with just really nice speaker systems, like big home size speakers with subwoofers and, usually multi-speaker boxes. And you could just listen to music that way. But those days are kind of gone now because there's so many smaller devices they'll often connect together. Like we have Sonos brand all over our house, or the smart speakers. I use smart with quotes, like the Google Home or the Amazon things. And now, yeah, those are what we listen to. And the fidelity isn't there. But I do kind of miss just having like the one central, really high quality audio room. And now we have a decent. I do see that you have a blog post, so I'm looking forward to reading that, Lewis. But like our front room with the television does have like a nice surround system that we can play music through, but it's not quite the same, and I miss that. And like we have a record player, but it's just a single standalone thing without even external speakers, and I don't know. I just miss it. Let's see. Oh, I can't click here. Here we go. I can click here. Got too many monitors. Like things pop open in weird places. And it's in English. So did you write this in English or is this a translation? Because thank you for the English. That is pretty awesome. I appreciate that. And oh yeah, I got like the little boombox here. Let's it's got a cool little boombox thing. So yeah, the rebirth of mono. Now I see it says the rebirth of mono, but that's got to be a stereo system, literally by name stereo, right? But cool. The music came from an AM radio. Have you ever built like a crystal radio? That's a project that always fascinated me. The AM radio waves are so powerful that they could power the radio just by using the AM radio waves themselves. I always thought that was just the coolest thing. Also a little bit scary. I mean, this is basically wireless charging technology that would power a radio without a battery. And you can still build a crystal radio because there are still, at least in this area, there are still AM radio stations around, although not. I don't know that people listen to them. If you're a YouTuber and you look at and you follow Jeff Geerling and his dad, and then also I think they worked with the guy who does one of the plasma project channels. They played around with an AM radio tower because the AM radio tower has such incredibly high amounts of power that like they cooked a pickle and cooked a bratwurst or whatever using it. But it's scary how much power is just in those antennas. But I will read this. I'm going to leave this open, Lewis, and I will comment because I'm just sad that we don't really have that central music listening area like we used to. And it's one of those things where having it in multiple rooms is an improvement, but yet it kind of takes away from something. You used to just be able to, sit in a comfortable chair, and if you had people, you could have the volume down low and just have some background music, and we just have lost that. Although I know we're getting close to the end of the time together, but it happens here sometimes, but we go to Amanda, my eldest with the two kids now, we go to her house and she'll often have on the television just one of the YouTube channels that has like either a static image or just a looping video with like soft jazz music playing. I think she got that from me because I used to listen to like those kinds of jazz music things in the background a lot. But it's just funny that it's kind of gone back to this one central location of just listening to music, but now it's done with a big 4K television and streaming media and stuff, and it's just funny. So Lewis used Spotify in several devices at home. Yeah, and we have that ability. I also think it's interesting that, like, my youngest will watch a lot of media just on her phone and just using the phone's speakers. And so, and the audio quality and, again, fidelity is just so sad compared to an actual thing, but it's probably better for her hearing. But yeah, like I said, we have Sonos speakers and they're around the house. I don't as often marry them together, because the claim to fame that Sonos had at the time, I think other devices do it decently now, but when Sonos first came out, they were really the only game in town that did a good job of keeping multiple speakers in sync, and especially wirelessly. I mean, if they're wired, obviously they could stay in sync, but they stream music, but then they would keep in sync with each other. And so you can group them around the house, and we have them in most rooms in the house, maybe not most rooms, maybe about most of the common areas, like not all the bedrooms, but and you can group them together. So if you're listening to something and you're walking around the house, you can hear it everywhere. And I thought that would be something I would use all the time. I thought, like, oh, this is going to be like, our house is going to be one big, nope. That is just not something that we do often. Usually the only time that it happens is if I'm watching something or listening to something on the television. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. If we're listening to something or watching something on the television, I will group the speakers because our television has a Sonos like subwoofer and surround speakers and like a front channel audio bar. And so, thank you. So I will group it with like the kitchen. So like if I need to go out and make something to snack on in the kitchen, I can still follow along with what's happening. But we don't have things streaming around the house like I thought we would. And maybe it's because everybody's doing something different, but it's still kind of sad. So yeah. Also, my job tends to be a lot of recording. So having music playing in the background is never okay with that for copyright purposes. So, and for just distractibility purposes, I can't have, even if it's license free music, I can't have it playing in the background of a CBT Nuggets training video. So I tend just not to have stuff. Yeah, it makes me sad. But I do miss the days of a big hi-fi setup in one room, where you would just kind of sit and the sound would be immersive. And I have to be honest, I'm wondering if the sound quality, I mean, obviously at any point there could be like amazing sound quality options that people have, but what I wonder is if the sound quality that I'm remembering from being in that room is as good as my brain remembers, or if it's the kind of thing that it was just kind of so-so audio. And now these smaller but more high-tech speaker systems probably have better audio quality. And and now I'm just, it's the nostalgia that I'm missing. It probably is the nostalgia that I'm missing. You still have a hi-fi setup from 1985. Nothing sounds as good as those digital systems we have. Yeah, see, that was my suspicion, that what I'm truly missing is not the audio, but the experience and the nostalgia of the experience. Because digital, everything. Yeah, the speakers, they're tiny little Sonos speakers, but they just sound clear and amazing, and I bet they sound better than those old ones do. So, yeah. Back in my day, we had to have all the people in one room listening to the same hi-fi system. And AM radio just fascinates me because of the way that the power was transmitted. I mean, the amplitude modulation, just the way that it was lower quality, but it was just fascinating that it would just basically pump power into the radio waves. I mean, it was just like raw power shooting through the radio waves. I gotta think that probably being near an AM radio tower isn't healthy. I mean, it's dangerous because of the amount of power, but I mean, just I don't know. I don't know if that kind of that kind of intense radiation, but I use that term loosely. I mean, it is technically radiation, but I don't think it's damaging. It's just so much power going out. So anyway, old man yells at everything. Yeah, shake my fist at the clouds. But I mean, I am, command gold, so I've earned my right to yell at the clouds. All right. We talked yesterday. Lewis, I don't think you were at the live stream yesterday, but did you see that Apple is now making I know you're not an Apple user, but Apple's new AirPods, their earphones or whatever, wireless earbuds, are going to include hearing aid software, like legitimate hearing aid software that will both protect your ears from loud sounds and amplify the ranges of your hearing loss and others. I think that's an interesting thing, and they're clearly targeting people of my demographic who ideally would have disposable income to buy those things. But it's interesting not only that Apple is including hearing aid technology in their next lineup of AirPods, but also how much that concept appeals to me. I just don't know if I would be able to keep them in my ears for a long time because my ears tend to hurt with things inside of them. Scott, hello, live long and prosper yourself, my friend. Yes, or peace and long life. I think that's the proper response. So yeah, although I don't want to, so the live long and prosper with the peace and long life thing always reminds me of the scene where, Spock gives his life to go into the whatever. And then the remake where it's switched. Yeah, that always fascinates me. But anyway, I could talk about Star Trek all day, big Trekkie. I think Star Wars is fun. I think Star Trek is awesome, if that makes sense. I don't see Star Wars as a sciencey one, but nonetheless, they're both interesting. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Star Trek every day and twice on Sunday. Ship out of yes, exactly. You're gonna make me tear up, man. But I forgot what I was talking about, which is not going to surprise anyone. I don't know, but today I might take a nap this afternoon because I was up so late watching the debate and the follow up and all that kind of stuff. Your previous messages didn't go out. It doesn't look like it's in the Discord either. What did you say? Did you give us the answer to life, the universe, and everything? Wait, aren't you a mod? What the heck? Hold on. This is silly. Going to Twitch myself.
Oh, go away. Get out of here.
Okay, that was not me saying that. All right, stream manager. Waiting for a mod. I don't see any. I don't know how this works either. On what platform? You're on Twitch, right? Do you do Twitch often, Lewis? All right. Well, Lewis, you're a mod. I don't even see a thing that needs to be moderated though. So I'm sorry about that. I assume I'm a mod on my own channel, but I don't even see where a thing would be to moderate stuff. So anyway, well, there you go. And I'm sorry, I didn't even ask if you would be willing, but if you'd rather not be a mod there, just let me know. All right. It's getting close to the time. I should really learn more about Twitch. I'm still plan on doing a subathon, even if nothing happens with regard to getting like lots more subs or whatever. I just think it's going to be really fun. But I have to figure out the giveaway stuff because I have people who are willing to give stuff away. So yeah, all right. I need to go as well because, Lewis asked if I was going pee, and I wasn't, but I need to. So have a great day, everyone. I know that there's only a few of us here, but that's all right. It's early morning. See you, and tomorrow I'll be drawing my comic. It'll probably be longer than an hour. It usually takes me about 2 hours now to draw them. So I'll see anybody who wants to watch me draw a comic tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. my time. And have a great day. See everybody later. Bye-bye.